finding the square of a binomial difference is the same exact thing as finding the square of a binomial sum. It's just that you gotta stick this little subtraction sign in there. Now I'm gonna show you two ways to do this, because when I learned it, I didn't understand the way that it was taught at first. So if I show you both, I think that whether you get it or not, you will after you see both methods. Yeah, okay. So here we have 2x. I'm just gonna write it out to the side because this is I like this better. Okay. Okay, so 2x minus 3 squared. Okay. So first we square the first term, be 2x squared, and then, like it says, you stick in the minus sign. It doesn't matter what's going on, you just stick that thing in there. You have to have a minus sign. That's the only place there will be a minus sign also. You will not have a minus sign on the other end of this problem. Okay, so you square that one, then you multiply everything by that little magical 2 there. So, and then you multiply everything by the 2, so 2 times 2x times just the 3. Notice that I only did the 3. I left out the minus sign because we put the minus sign, we stuck it there. I could make those the same. So we took this minus sign and we just stuck it here. Basically, that's what we did. Okay. 3, and then we square the last one, which is the 3. Then simplify. So 2 squared is 4. X squared is x squared. Minus. What is 2 times 2? 2 times 2 equals, that's not how that goes. It's complicated. So 2 times 2 equals 4, times 3 equals 12. So 12x. And then what is 3 squared? 3 squared is 9. So that will be your final answer there. Okay, then in your next problem, the next problem is 4x squared minus 1. I should write that down. 4x squared minus 1 squared. Ooh, big and tricky, right? Nah, we got this. Okay, so you just do the same steps as before. So first, we square this first term right here. So we take 4x squared and square it. You shove in your little minus sign and you stick it in there. Okay. Then you multiply everything in this, all of this, you multiply all of it by this wonderful 2 here, the mysterious 2. What do you do in here? I don't think it knows. 4x squared times 2 times 1. leaving out the negative because we stuck it over here. And then we square the second term to be that. So plus 1 squared. Okay, now you simplify. So 4 squared equals 16. X squared times the x squared raised to the second. X squared times the squared would be what? You add the 2, so you get 6x to the 4th. You just bring down your little minus sign. And then 2 times 4 times 1. You just get 8x squared, because the squared is there. And then simplify the 1 squared. 1 squared equals what? 1. If you didn't get 1, you need to go study. Okay. Now, when I learned this, I didn't understand the whole, you just stick your minus sign in there. I was like, well, why is the minus sign there? It doesn't make any sense. So, here is an alternative. Okay, so instead of saying you stick the minus sign in there, you set it up the same way that you set up the binomial sum, which you square the first, multiply everything by 2, and then you square the second. So, like so. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go 4x squared minus 1 squared. Okay. So, of course, like before, your first thing here is you square your first term. 4x squared. And then you multiply everything by 2. When I say you multiply everything by 2, I mean you multiply everything by 2. So you're multiplying 4x squared, and you're multiplying the 2, the 4x squared, and the negative 1. And then you do your last term here, plus 1 squared. If you want to, you can say plus negative 1 squared, because when you square a negative, you're just going to get the positive in the end, because a negative times a negative goes what? A positive. Don't trust your calculator. It's wrong. So, and then you simplify it. So 4 squared is 16. X squared is 2 plus 2, which equals 4. So 16x to the 4th power. Then 2 times 4 times negative 1. 2 times 4 times negative 1. What does that equal? Well, 2 times 4 equals 8 times negative 1. That makes it a negative 8. You see how that works? Negative 8x squared. And then your 1. 1 squared equals positive 1. So you see, you get the same exact answer. It's just here you don't have to change the formula, I guess. You don't have to change the square the first, multiply everything by 2, and then square the second. You don't have to change that. You don't have to say, just stick in a minus sign. You just roll. You keep rolling. There. Yes. So that's how you do the square of a binomial difference.